So my talk is on termites. So I work on the integrated termite management. I work on IT case. I work on some frontier technologies, frontier sciences. I mean to say the modern sciences. So my topic is modified accordingly. So I'll be giving a brief talk on the fusion of frontier and indigenous sciences for scalable technologies. We know these frontier sciences, I mean to say the modern sciences, as well as the IT case, the Indian indigenous sciences, how these knowledges can be upgraded, they can be used to scale the technologies which is available. And some of my practical experiences also I'll be sharing on this platform. So let me start. Now, coming to the background, let me say that I started my career from 95, and from 94 to 99, I was doing my PhD. Then after completion of my PhD, I worked as assistant professor in Kerala Agriculture University. From there, I switched over to IIR New Delhi as senior scientist, and 2011, I got promoted to the National Fellowship. Then from 2017 to 2022, I was working as head. During this 22 years of my service, I came across various situations, various states, various crops, various agro ecosystems, and in various capacities, starting from junior project fellow, junior horticulturist, to the level of head of the division or the head of the stations. I worked in various capacities. Now, let me say, while talking about the termites, I'll be interested to say something about the SWOT analysis. Now, when we talk about the termites, we are not giving much importance to the termites in our agriculture field. We know that this is a serious national problem, but many are not knowing that this is a serious problem. And whether it is agriculture or forestry or household issues, these termites, they are actually serious pests. They serve as indoor pest, they serve as outdoor pest. Now, we know the United Nations has developed some 17 sustainable development goals. So this list is here, you can see. I'm just pointing the figures. I'm not going in detail. Now, all these 17 SDGs, sustainable development goals, if we are working on termites, and if we are fusing the frontier sciences as well as the IT case, then we can achieve at least 7 to 10 goals. Now, this is the single one, the website or the web portal which is launched in 2017 May, and within 4 or 5 years, this has reached actually more than 7.7 lakh hits or the visits. Now, anybody is interested in the termites, they can plug onto the internet and they can go through this. And this is actually serving the purpose of the public, serving the purpose of the professionals, the policymakers, as well as the students. Now, this is my input and how the output is actually reaching. So here it is mentioned that but it has already reached 7.72 lakh hits. Well, now when I was working on National Fellow Project, my National Fellow Project was exclusively on the termite R&D in Indian situation. So the first objective was country-wide economic and ecological importance of termites. I mean to say, in the first objective, I worked on the termites as a pest, how they are actually structural and agricultural pests. So I did a survey, and some of the few points which I can mention here, that I worked on the diversity of the termites, mapping of the termites. You can see for the first time, these 4 maps actually we prepared. So in Indian situations, these 4 species, the Heterotermes indicola, the Coptotermes species, the Onotermes species, and the Microtermes species, these 4 species are the major termite pests. Now the first 2, they are the indoor pest, and the last 2, that is the 3rd and the 4th, they are the outdoor pests. You will be getting this Heterotermes indicola and Coptotermes species indoor, as well as sometimes you may get them also in indoor pest also. And here this Onotermes species and Microtermes species, they are exclusively the pest for the agricultural crops, the forestry crops, Even you will be getting them in the lawns also. And sometimes this odontoma species and to some extent the microtoma species, they can attack the indoor or your householdings also. Now, in the second objective, I try to collect the ITKs, that is the indigenous technical technology traditional knowledges related to the or relevant to the termites, and I try to upscale them to develop them as technologies. Now, while talking about the ITKs, I can touch these 3 or 4 points. Bioprospecting termite salts and antibiotic properties. This is the thing which I work, and this is the point where I want to say. Now, just one important point or one very interesting point I can mention here, that when the termites they move, you won't be finding them in the nature naked. I mean to say, always the termites will be inside the mud tunnels. Why it is so? Because when they are actually exposed to the exterior, I mean to say the ambient situations, then immediately due to their soft bodies, they will be desiccated and they will be killed, or they will be their system will be damaged. That is number one. Number two is that the termites are always they move inside the mud tunnels, and these mud tunnels are having, I mean to say, the soil which is actually constituting the mud tunnels, they are having the antibiotic properties. Now, this is the knowledge which we are having. It is a modern knowledge as well as it is a traditional knowledge. Now, how we can upscale this technical knowledge, or how we can convert them to scalable technologies, that is important here. Now, another thing, we know that termites, they degrade the plant materials, the crop residues, stubbles, to very fertile soil. So in a way, they increase the soil fertility also. Now, ITKs, we have developed the database. We work on the physical, mechanical, cultural, chemical, and as well as we work on the seed treatment. These are the things. These things you will be getting. Some of the technical knowledges, they are actually borrowed from the ITKs, as well as some of the things you can get from the modern or the frontier sciences. Now, one point I can say here, you see the pointer here, I'm marking here. You can see this is developed by this is developed by PAU, Punjab Agriculture University, some couple of years back. One particular scientist, I've forgotten his name, he has developed this one. You can see this is a earthen pot, and this earthen pot will be filled with the maize cobs, and there will be some holes, 24 holes will be there here, you can see. And this will be actually put inside the soil in the field itself. And the termites, they will be attracted towards these maize cobs, and they are collected here, and then you can collect them and you can destroy them. So this is a very simple traditional knowledge which is actually used by the scientists, and these scientists, they have actually scaled it, this particular ITK, and it is widely used in Punjab in some of the parts. Now, another thing I can say here, this is a thing which actually I tried in my IRA campus also. So these are the PVC pipes, and through these PVC pipes also you can take some of the papers or used papers, or you can say this debris you can also use, and you can use PVC pipes. This is some sort of you can say modern science or the modern knowledge which you can actually operate or you can use also to your benefit. Now, this chlorpyrifos, this is being used throughout the country everywhere, and the farmers, they are very fond of taking this knowledge. They will be actually making a small hole, and they will allow dropping of these chlorpyrifos solutions to the irrigated water or the irrigation water. But this is a very crude way of irrigating and crude way of chemigation, or you can say the chemical application through the irrigation water. This is to be discouraged and this is to be discontinued. This is not a good practice or healthy practice. Now, I was talking about the frontier technologies. Through these frontier technologies, actually, I have sequenced some 34 genes related to these termites, and actually we acquired the NCBI gene sequences also. And we have 337 Indian termites in India, and all these things were actually listed in our NF project annual report. So when we worked from 11 to 17, some 6 years, I reported, I listed all these 337 Indian termites. Now you can see here one good example I can give. When you are going to the termites or the termite mounds, or you can see this termitorium, and you excavate it, you will be getting the fungal garden or the fungal comb. Now this fungal comb, if you are actually trying to keep in the lab with the proper humidity, but slowly they will develop some of the saprophytic growth. Here you can see this fungal growth. And when I was working on this and I was doing my research work, I could get the trichoderma species also in the fungal garden. Now this trichoderma species, it is actually a fungal species which can be used to your benefit. But I discontinued my research project in 2017. So though I got this lead, but I could not take this work further. So I am planning to again, because I have rejoined back in New Delhi just recently, this January itself. So I am actually trying to again start this work, and I will take this further. Now here I am talking about the termite feeding behavior. As I was telling, when you are excavating, you can see we are excavating a termitorium or the termite mound. When you are excavating, you will be finding such type of, you can see here, the such type of fungal gardens or the combs. We call them the fungal gardens or the fungal combs. When you are seeing under magnified glass, you will be finding such type of white structures. You can see this is the white structures. They are the nodules, or we call them the mycotids. These mycotids are nothing but they are actually the fruiting bodies of termitomyces. This fungal garden, actually it is termed as the kitchen garden or kitchen of the termite mound. Now here you will be getting the termitomyces. This is a mandatory fungal species which is very must, and these termites, they do live in association. This mandatory symbiotic association of termites along with the termitomyces is very much important. Now I was working on this and I studied the feeding behavior. You can see the termite soldiers as well as the termite workers, they'll be actually puncturing, they'll be taking the enzymes. These microtids or the nodules, they'll be filled with some of the enzymes. These enzymes in turn, they provide the digestive enzymes to the termite. Now, termites are the only animal on this earth, they can digest the wood. Now, the wood is very rich in energy. That is why when you burn the wood, you get the maximum energy out of it. Now, this energy can be converted to energy only by the termites, not by others. But still, the termites cannot degrade the wood to 10%. So they can degrade that wood to some extent only. That is, partially they can degrade, partially they can digest. So the termite workers, they came from their mound, that is the termitorium. They forage, they eat they collect the bits of woods and they feed on them. Now inside their gut system, these wood particles will be partially digested. They will be coming into the mound, that is the termitorium, and here you can see they will be regurgitating the partially digested wood particles or the food material or the food matrix inside this fungal garden or the fungal comb. Now this fungal comb, as I was depicting here, the termites, they are getting the enzymes for this termitomyces fungi or the fungus, and that enzyme will be digesting completely the undigested part of the wood. So this way, these termites and the termitomyces in association, which is mandatory, they degrade the wood particles completely and they digest and get the maximum benefit from the energy rich wood. Now I was working on the seed treatment packages also. In many cases you will be using the biofungicides, or say you'll be using the insecticides. Sometimes you'll be using the biofertilizers, and sometimes you'll be using also the biofertilizers or the biofungicides. Now, when we are using, or when this problem there is problem of termites in a field, particularly crops like wheat, maize, chickpea, groundnut, and soybean, you will be finding them whether these three components, whether when you are taking them, whether they are compatible with each other or not. So this study I did, and I got this matrix. You can see when you are taking this imidacloprid, these are the doses I've given: imidacloprid, fipronil, chloropyrifos. So whether you are getting, when you are taking them in combination, whether it is phytotonic or phytotoxic. So this entire matrix I've actually developed under my National Fellow project. So this is the way, this is the point where I was telling that how you are upgrading or upscaling the traditional as well as the modern knowledge to scalable technologies. Now, I was working on the forewarning also. So I took the data of Odontomus species. So you know these termites, they are very famous for this swarming. In winter days, you might have seen also the swarming of these termites. And I tried to correlate the swarming events with the weather parameters. So I have taken the temperature, I have taken the precipitation, that is the rainfall, I have taken the heat unit, and I did this research work from 2015 to 2011 to 2015, some 4 to 5 years. And I developed some sort of correlations, but still the work is not completed. So I'm not going further in this aspect. Now, here I can say the technology, that is the push-pull strategy, which is the single most important technology or the eco technology which I have developed under my National Fellow project. Now you can see here, this is a very good example where we have integrated the traditional knowledge, we have integrated the modern knowledge, that is the frontier sciences, and we use them for upscaling or scalable technologies. Now you can see here, this technology is very simple. The technology, first you listen very carefully. What I did actually, you can see here, just I'm showing the pointers. Here you can see there are 3 lines of wheat. Here you can see number 1, number 2, and number 3. These 3 are the wheat lines. And again, these 3 are the wheat lines. And here, this one, here it is actually a stubble. So how we got this stubble? Normally, you know, when we are actually going for the cultivation of maize, after maize, the distance between the 2 maize lines will be mostly 67 to 75 centimeter. So within this 75 centimeter or 67 to 75 centimeter, after harvest of the maize, you cut them, but you leave the stubbles. You can leave some 2 to 3 inches of the stubbles. So you'll be getting the dry stubbles in line. Now, in between these 2 lines of maize, you plant 3 lines of wheat. You plant 3 lines of wheat. Now, when the 3 lines of the wheat, they grow up, we call that those lines is the push site. Whereas the stubbles, you can see these are the stubbles, that is the maize stubbles, they are dried actually, they are the pull sites. Now these pull sites, actually because they are dry, the termites normally they will feed on the dry parts or the dry portion of the crop, not the green portion. So definitely they will be attracted towards the pull side, that is the stubbles. And again, when the termites are aggregating near the stubble site, the ants, they are the predators, the ant colonization will be there also in the pull site. Now, because they are the green matter, the termites, they are not actually feeding here. And still there is some bleak chance of attack of the termites to the wheat root system. So to avoid that thing, you can go for the seed treatment. You can either take the chloropyrifos, you can take imidacloprid, or you can say take the fipronil. Already a slide also I have shown how you will be going for the seed treatment, and I have actually developed the seed treatment package also. So based on those seed treatment package, you can treat your seeds and you can sow 3 lines of wheat in between 2 lines of maize stubbles. Now, when you are getting the predators, that is the ant colonies, they will be feeding on the pool side. They will be feeding on the termites, if at all they are there here. And because they are the dry, naturally the termites will be attracted there. Again, it is, I'm repeating the same thing. Now, when you are finding or when you are observing that the termites are in large number in the pool side, that is the stubbles of the maize, then if you are interested, you can spray or you can apply some of the EPNs, entomopathogenic nematodes, like S. thermophyllum or H. indica. So you can use this EPN, that is the entomopathogenic nematodes here, if at all it is necessary. But in my experiments for 3 or 4 years, I did this experiment. There was no need of applying this EPN. Now, otherwise, if you don't have these EPNs, you can also go for soil treatment with some hard chemicals to kill the termites if you are thinking their population is very high in the pool side. Now, this push-pull concept, this is an eco technology, and it is in line with the governmental policies, that is per drop more crop. I mean to say, when you are going for the stubble, you are leaving the stubble in between 3 lines of the wheat. So naturally there will be water conservation, there will be more moisture resin in the soil. So this is a plus point. Now here you can see this is a stubble. I'm pointing my pointer here. You can see this is the maize stubble, and this maize stubble is filled with the soil. Here you can see. So this is actually attracting the termites. You can see here the stubble is opened here, and you are finding a large number of the termites aggregating, live termites. You can see here, and here this soil, they are very rich in nutrients. So you are in one way also increasing the soil fertility when you are going for this push-pull strategy. Now, as you know, from 2007 onwards, our strategy is to go for seed treatment in the entire country. So this technology, this particular policy is also being taken in our technology, that is the push-pull strategy. As I was telling, this is also known as the 4P3C technology. You can see here, this push-pull strategy is a climate smart, it is carbon smart, it is conservation smart, as well as it is cash smart also. And again, I can say here, you can see when you are going for this technology, you can either go for the small farmers also, or for the large holding farmers also, you can develop this technology, or you can use this technology. So this is a very good example how we can fuse the two technologies. I mean to say the ITKs as well as the frontier technologies, and you can upscale them. You can go for the scalable technologies in case of the termite management. Well, coming to the 5th objective of my National Fellow project, where I was working on this development of a website. So this particular website, as I told, this is www.termiteexpert.in. It is best. It is also having inclusion. There is some mobile-based app is also actually integrated here. So this I'll be going further. I'll be leaving some of the slides here. It is not very much needed. This is the economic impact, how it is actually useful, or how it is important in case of termites, how they are causing damage. And if you are going for the termite management, how it is beneficial, as well as economically, as well as socially and environmentally. That was actually narrated in this particular slide here. Now, as I was telling, you are fusing the frontier as well as the traditional technologies. So this technology is climate smart, carbon smart, conservation smart, and cash smart. You can see here in the center the termite trapping strategy. As I was telling, you are having the maize stubbles in between 3 lines of the wheat. So this is actually a termite trapping strategy. Now you are coordinating different mechanisms here. You can see here, this is a conservation agriculture. You know, when you are actually going for minimum tillage or zero tillage, means you are not cultivating that entire field after harvesting of one crop. You are going for another crop based with the residues or the crop residues intact of the previous crop. We call it the conservation agriculture. So in the conservation agriculture, you have the stubbles, you will be having the stubbles, that is the mods. So the termite mod soil, they will be increasing the soil fertility, as already I have depicted here. And as I was telling, the natural enemy promotion will be there when there is mud soil, when there is actually stubbles, the termites will be aggregating. So naturally the ant colonies will be also developing there. So that is actually promoting the natural enemies. So this ITKs, some of the knowledges which we have taken actually from the ITKs, as well as some of the frontier scientific knowledges like the seed treatment, soil treatment, need-based biopesticides, microbials like this EPN. So we have taken from the frontier science. So we are fusing these frontier sciences as well as the ITKs, and we are developing this termite trapping strategy through the push-up push-pull strategy. So when we talk about this A, B, C to Z, so we are going to meet the millennium goal through this sustainability, and this sustainability is achievable through this carbon, climate, conservation, and cash smart. These 4 points are very much important. My presentation was actually in 2 parts. So first part, initial 20 minutes, actually I covered. So you can say that is the summary. Now I will be going in detail because I think the talk is up to 7 o'clock. So some of the interesting points I can again discuss, and some of the points may be repeated again. You know, the termites, they are known as the smallest bioreactors. Now coming to the part 1, I will try to again incite some interest among the participants. You can see here in April 26, 2011, there was a news, termites eat millions at a bank in India. Bank like State Bank of India also, they have reported that the termites, they entered their iron chest and they have eaten these currencies or these notes. So such type of reports are not actually very new. From old days also we are getting such type of informations. Now to cite some of the, to incite interest, you can see how the termites, they are important. These are the some of the stamps you can see from different countries. But unfortunately, I could not find a single termite stamp in Indian context. All these stamps were actually collected by me, and these are actually from abroad only, not from India. So it shows that though termites, they are very serious in Indian situations, but we are not giving importance to the termite science or the termitology. You know, if you are going to the Canada or to the USA, 50% of the pesticides, they are diverted only for the termites itself. 50% of pesticide industry is meant for the termite control only, termite management only. But there is a difference between those countries versus our country. When we are talking about the Canada and USA, the termites, they are actually indoor pests there, not outdoor pest. I mean to say, though you know this maize, sorry, the wheat, it actually the origin of crop wheat is actually America only. But there you want to be getting the termite as a pest in wheat. But in India, the termite is a serious pest on termites in other different crops also. Why it is so? Because as I was showing those 4 maps also, Odontorma species and Microtorma species, these 2 species, 75% of termite fauna in Indian context, it consists of these 2 species only. Now these termites, they grow in mandatory association with termitomyces. Already I have shown the termite fungal garden. But when you are going to the other countries, particularly the temperate countries in Canada, Europe, and your America, you won't be getting the termitomyces. Those are known as the lower termites. The termites which we are finding, I mean to say that Odontotermas and Microtormas, they are actually the higher termites. Now, these are some of the things how there is annual economic losses associated with the termite activity. You can see here the India, the termite species 261, which is reported by us, and the cost associated with termite activities this month. So I'm not going in detail. These are actually data basic, and it is published in 2017 or 16. So maybe 5-6 year old data only. I worked on 2 villages, and you can see here there are 3 examples. These 3 villages are seriously affected by the termites. Now I am discussing here termites as a indoor pest, not as a pest in crops or agricultural pest. The termites in 1955, Dr. Runwal, you know, everybody will be knowing that Dr. Runwal, he is the pioneer on termite science, that is the termitology. He reported that in Gurdaspur district, there is a village which is known as Sri Hargobindpur. This Sri Hargobindpur was actually totally destroyed by the termites, and the entire habitant, I mean to say the villagers, they were victimized and they left their houses, and that entire township, or you can say that village, was actually a ghost town. So this is actually in history also, this is there. And in Kota, there is a village, Jhopadian. In 2013 to 16, the same thing it happened. And again in Almora, again, this thing actually it happened. These 2 and 3, these 2 villages actually I have reported, and some of the clips, news clips actually you can see here. These new clips actually we have visited those villages, and we actually Lambare, this particular village is Lambare near this Almora. So these 2 villages we reported, and we went there and we suggested some of the control measures also. You can see this particular picture, this one, you can see here how seriously this door frame is actually damaged by the termites. Now you can see here in Punjab, and particularly those are from the Delhi belt, you will be finding sometimes the termite, these are known as the termite tunnels. In a neglected places, particularly in old houses, you will be finding such type of hanging mud tunnels. So just remember, and this is a very good example or good sign of termite species. These characteristic hanging mud tunnels, it is a single most important. If you are finding these mud tunnels which is hanging, then blindly you can say the species associated is Heterotermes indicola. This Heterotermes indicola, it is a serious pest in Delhi and Delhi NCR. Now in the Jhopadia village, that is near the Kota also, when we visited that village, we found that the termites, they even infest the garlic. Normally, you know, the garlic, they are actually having very pungent smell, and we say that they are the biopesticides, or they can actually deter the insects. But here you can see the garlics are also eaten or devoured by the termites. So you can see how the termites, they are actually overcoming the natural biopesticides also. So that is why for termites, whether you are using the biopesticides or botanicals, the chance of success is somewhat less as compared to the other insect pests.
Gagan sir, you just take a moment and have some water, sir.
Yeah. Actually, I am not feeling well.
Yeah, you just take a moment because you are traveling. I know, sir. You are traveling, sir. I know, sir. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
You just take a moment, sir. You just take. Have your water first, then.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption.
No issue, sir. That's why you are the champ, sir. With these circumstances, also you are
actually, yesterday I was actually down with fever, and I was having high fever, 102 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Anyway, okay. Let me resume and let me continue and complete in time. You can see that particular village actually. Sorry. Yeah, you can see that village, some of the very rich persons, they actually replaced these iron pillars with the wooden pillars. The wooden pillars were actually replaced with the iron stakes or iron pillars. You can see here, and they actually went for this tin roofs also. Here you can see when you are storing the agricultural commodities like this, they are actually, you are actually amassing them in one place, then the termite damage will be more. So when there is termite prone areas, particularly in the storehouses, always you keep distance. Your storage products or the agricultural commodities should not touch the ground, as well as it should not touch the wall also. So that is the point which actually the farmers, they should see, and they should actually follow this tactic. These are some of the cliffs already I discussed. These are some of the things you see. When termites, they eat our wooden furnitures, why not eating them? So, you know, termites also, they are very proteinaceous, and in some of the places, particularly the indigenous people, the Adivasis, or the tribal people in some of the places like Tripura, northern eastern areas, even in Odisha, in Tamil Nadu, the tribal people, they used to take the termites as food also. Now, some of the slides which actually I have actually collected just to insights interest among the participants. You can see this is the caste system. I think I should not go to the basics again, but you know, the termite colony, it consists of the queen, it consists of the soldiers, the workers, so on and so forth. Here you can see, this is the termite queen, you can see here. And this termite queen is tended by the workers. You can see this one. And this is actually termite mound. When, you know, just I will give you one anomaly here. When in a family, a small family, it starts, a couple, they will be having their babies, and slowly the babies will be grown up. When they will be 22 or 25 years of age, they are grown up. So they will be marrying, they will be married, and they will be again leaving their family. So that way the family system actually, it bifurcates and it ramifies. So likewise, when you have a termite mound, when the termite mound is of full capacity, then the termite soldiers, they will be converted to the allied forms, means wingless forms will be converted to the winged forms. So these allieds, they will be coming out, and from the mound, you can see I have taken this photograph myself. These are the exit holes. These exit holes, you can see. These exit holes are guarded by the termite soldiers. And from these exit holes, this, you can see these allieds, they are coming out. And particularly in the swarming, in the night time, particularly, you will be finding large number of allied wing termites aggregating or actually attracted towards the lights. So they are actually the allieds. So that way they go and they start their new colony. So I think, you know, already I told you have these colonies, you have the workers, you have the soldiers, queen, as well as these 3 or 4 castes will be there. So I'm not going again in detail about this basics. There is some difference between this termite. When you are seeing, you can very well identify the ants and the termites. But when they are in swarming form, I mean to say, when you are finding a allied form, just you see this part. So this constriction is there, then it is actually not termite. This is actually the ant. Whereas this constriction is not there here. This is the termite. I mean to say, this is about the allied forms only. So that way you can very well say whether it is ant or termite allied. They are swarming. I was telling also, there are 7 families under this termite order, that is the Isoptera. But Isoptera, normally we are seeing Isoptera, now it is actually Blatodia. The order is Blatodia, it is not Isoptera. The termites are belonging to the Blatodia, not Isoptera. This is the recent development. And there are 7 families, and as I was telling, from 1 to 6, they are known as the lower termites. Whereas this Termitidae, the 7th one, this is the higher termites. And these Termitidae, they constitute 75% of termite fauna in Indian situations. And these Termitidae, particularly the Odontotormus and the Microtormus, they are serious pest of agricultural crops as well as the forestry crops. Whereas they are not, we won't find them in America, Europe, and Canada. Whereas the Termitidae, I mean to this Odontotormus species, higher termites, you will be finding them in Australia, you will be finding them in India, in Japan, China also, and you will be finding them also in Australia. Now, there is a continental drift theory, so I'm not going in detail, it will take more time. But you know, all our continents were actually in one place. There is only a single continent, and slowly they divide into different parts, and they actually spread over, and finally you are getting those whatever these continents we are having right now, we are getting. Now, when we are having only one continent on Earth, so that time in the central part, the termites were there and termitomyces were there. But when that single continent, it divided into different parts and it spread over, somehow in Africa only this portion left, not other part. And slowly they migrated from Africa to India, to Australia, and to Asia, part of the Asia. But they were not actually migrated to European countries, to the America and the Canada. So because you won't be getting the termitomyces fungi, you won't be getting the higher termites in those places. This, I think it's not necessary. Here I have actually given how the termites they feed. There are some 5 to 6, 4 to 5 feeding. Based on the feeding behavior, we are classifying the termites. It is actually of academic interest only, so I'm not going in depth. Here again, I am showing, you can see, this is the fungal garden. This is the fungal garden you can see here. Again, I am actually showing, this is known as the nodules or the mycotids. So it is filled with the enzymes. This is actually punctured by the termites, and termites will be actually feeding on it, and they'll be getting the digestive enzymes. We call them the seeds of their agriculture. So you can say, we are saying that we are the only animals on this earth that we are going for the agriculture. No, the termites, they do agriculture. They do go for rearing the fungi. So it is not agriculture, rather it is known as the fungiculture. So their seeds is, these are the seeds. So already again, actually, I was telling, I may be repeating some of the parts, so I'm not again detailing here. Now, here some of the interesting points I'll be saying here. You know, termites, they love carbon dioxide. This is the green truth. The termites emit 10 times more than humans. Should we cap and tax them? Now, so this is just to be in a lighter term, I'm telling. You know, when you are actually excavating or you are going inside this termitarium, that is the termite mound, the CO2 concentration will be 10 times higher than the ambient CO2 concentrations. That is the concentration of CO2 you are getting in the outside. It is actually 10 times higher in the termite mound. So that is why if you are collecting the termites, I mean to say the termites are of again two types, higher termite and lower termite. Remember, higher termite and lower termite. I am talking about now the higher termites only. The higher termites, I mean to say that odontotermus and microtermus. If you are collecting the termites and trying to rear in the laboratory, you cannot rear them. Why? Because you cannot actually maintain the CO2 concentration 10 times. If you can increase the CO2 concentration 10 times in the lab in a closed condition, then you may develop this, you can grow or you can rear the termites. But again, termitomyces, the presence of termitomyces, which is actually in mandatory association, is a must. So you have to develop such a system where you will be having the termites, you will be having the termitomyces, that is the fungi, and you are having the requisite temperature, you are having the requisite CO2 concentration, then only you can grow or you can rear the termites. So this is the reason till date nobody has developed termite rearing technology. Again, I am repeating here, it is for the higher termites, odontotermus and microtermus, not for the lower termites. Here I have actually given this one picture of this termite mound. You can see here. So again, I'm not going in detail, but normally you just remember, whenever you have a termite mound, below that termite mound, there will be definitely some water source. So that is why, again, this is a traditional knowledge. Again, this is a traditional knowledge. I am repeating again. The old people or that our traditional people, when they wanted to dig a well or go for pond. So they were seeing where is a mound. If there is a mound, termite mound, they are going for excavating or digging a well there only. Definitely you will be getting a termite. If you are getting a termite mound, if you are excavating that place, definitely you will be getting the water source. Below there will be water table, definitely. So this is the traditional knowledge. Now you can see here, already I have depicted and I described in detail about the fungal garden. And here, this is the termite mound. Sorry, this is the colony. The queen will be there. The queen is tended by the workers as well as the soldiers. So when there will be mud tunnels, you can see here the mud tunnels. The termite soldiers, they won't be going for foraging. The termite workers, they go for foraging. They come out. Either they attack the agricultural crop or forest crop, or they will be attacking the indoor. So they act as outdoor pest or indoor pest or forest pest. So again, remember, only the workers will be foraging. And normally you will be getting 1:10 ratio. That is 10 workers, you may get 1 soldiers. And soldiers, the duty of the soldiers is just to guard the termite mound. Now again, somebody is asking, when we are interested to manage the termite, why not go for the biopesticides? The reason is very simple. When the workers, they are going outside, they are fed with or they are treated with or somehow they come in contact with biopesticides or biopesticidal particles. So the moment they are coming inside their mound, the soldiers, they can smell them and they won't allow them to enter. So you can say, in a way, they will be discarded from the colony, or even if they are somehow entered inside the colony, so they will be actually sent to special wards, just like in our COVID time, COVID pandemic period, we are having special hospitals, COVID wards. In dengue fever also, in Delhi also, you are having the dengue wards. So likewise, there will be some separate cells where only the diseased termite, I mean to say the termite workers will be actually isolated. So they are not actually supposed to come in contact with the queen or other healthy counterpart of the colony. So this is the very intricate system in a termite colony, in a termite colonization. So that is why when you are using the biopesticides, there is least chance that it will be very effective. As I was telling, you have termites. I mean to say, again, I'm saying, repeating here, higher termites. When you have the termites, the termitomyces will be there. And when there is termitomyces, fungi. So when there is fungi, the fruiting part as well as the non-fruiting asexual production part, that is the mushroom, will be there. This mushroom part, here you can see all these mushrooms. There are some 65 mushroom species reported from different part of the country, world. 65 type of termitomyces mushrooms, and they are not poisonous, they are very edible, they are very priced, they are very costly also. You will be getting them in you will be getting in Ranchi area, then in Goa also you'll be getting, in Orissa some of the parts you'll be getting, and in northern eastern states also, in some of the districts also you'll be getting these mushrooms also. They are very priced and very costly. I think the same thing I already discussed, and again I'm not repeating. These are some of the synthetic termiticides or the synthetic chemicals which is actually commonly available in the Indian marketplace. We have some species, few examples of some biocontrol agents like Damon and Kalichakra, but normally you see they are not very effective, though we have some of the products, but normally they are not effective. That is why the farmers, they are not following, and they are not actually, these companies, they were already gone, means their market value is very less. So that is why slowly they stop their products also. So I was working on the EPN also. So this is some research aspect. I'm not going in detail here. You can see here, when in the layer you are treating a allied termite, you are getting such type of growth of Aspergillus nomeus on a dead allied of Corporatormus destroyed. But in real field situations, the termites, they are actually very less affected by the biopesticides. Just remember, in the first initial part also, I was telling the termites, they won't be moving naked. Always they will move inside the mud tunnels. So whenever they are moving inside the mud tunnels, the mud tunnel soils are actually having antibiotic properties. Due to this antibiotic properties, even if you are using some biopesticides, it will be neutralized, it will be nullified, and termites won't be affected seriously by the biopesticides if you are using. I think this is all about my talk today, and thank you for patience.